Okay, so welcome to everyone and thanks for your patience. So this is the first webinar in 2022 from the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. So this webinar will be repeated in different time zone and different language to reach the maximum of national society. So before going further, let's have a quick briefing on the housekeeping and rules. So keep all time your microphone muted unless you are invited to ask a question. You can use the chat box to ask your questions. We will try our best to answer during the webinar, and if not, this will be answered in the FAQ on the Technical Working Group website. We will run some polls during the webinar. The question will appear on your screen and you will have 1 minute to answer. In case you have several people in front of the screen, one person can take the lead to answer. This webinar also will be available in Arabic and in French. So you have to choose the channel on the interpretation button for French or for Arabic. So let's start with the first poll. You will have on the screen 2 questions. So the first question is, what is your background? And you will have 4 propositions. Are you a wash practitioner? Are you a cash practitioner? Are you a cash and wash practitioner? Or are you from another sector? And then the second question is, we want to know if you hear before about the existence of the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. So I will launch the poll now and you will have 1 minute to answer. And after you feel you have done the poll, you can write your name and your national society and where you're from in the chat box. Let's now talk briefly about the agenda. So we have already started the introduction with housekeeping and rules, introduction of participants, and soon we will introduce the speakers. The first part of the webinar will be a presentation of the main achievements of the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group in 2021. Then we will have a presentation of the work streams that have been identified during the roadmap development. And after, we will have the presentation of the new organization of the Technical Working Group and how to engage with us. And after, we will finish by a session of question and answer. Today's speakers, I will let them introduce themselves. So over to you, Jamili.
Thank you, Ludovic, and hi to all. Very happy to be here in the meeting today. This is Jamili Douaihi. I'm the WASH Regional Program Officer at IFRC MENA with a focus on the software part of WASH. Previously, I also worked with Lebanese Red Cross as a WASH officer. And I've been involved in many activities with the cash and wash. One of them is related to also the Red Rose system and the provision of hygiene kits for the Syrian refugees in Lebanon and the use of restricted cash assistance. I will be speaking today about the yearly report of 2021. Thank you.
Over to you, Annika.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Annika Smits and I work for Netherlands Red Cross as the cash focal point, currently focused on setting up 2 specific market-based programming for WASH pilots. And my previous experience is in CVA in emergencies.
Thank you, Annika. Over to you, Andrew.
Hi, I'm Andrew from Malaysia Crescent Society, and I am the Cash Working Group member for our National Society, and I am leading the Cash Voucher Assistance Program in our rural area and the livelihood. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Andrew. So I am Ludovic Arnoux. I'm the WASH coordinator for IFRC for Asia Pacific region. I'm also co-chairing the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group since 1 year and a half, and I will be the facilitator for this webinar today. So let's move now to the first part about Yearly Report 2021. Over to you, Jamili.
Okay, thank you, Ludovic. Okay, now the screen has moved. Thank you. So, as I said, I will be discussing or talking in brief about the yearly report of 2021. So, as some of you may know, the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group was created and started in October 2020. And the members were from various national societies, IFRC, ICRC. We can say that 2021 was a year of great achievement by all the members. The yearly report that you can also check or take a look at in details is presenting the progress and the work that was done by the members. There is also a video on YouTube attached that that also presents the achievements that were done by the technical working group, and you can also have a look on the technical working group websites and the various links that will be attached in the presentation. So just to talk in brief, the report includes elements about the membership of the technical working group and how the information is shared internally among the group. So, of course, the resort to various online, let's say, online references, of course, due also to COVID-19, and the presence of various members from the various regions. There is also the main reference documents that were used and how the information was disseminated not only between the members but also externally, including coordination within and outside the movement. In the yearly report, you can also find specific activities that were conducted. One of them is the survey to the national societies, the mapping that was conducted, the development of the various case studies, the training also that was done on market-based programming for WASH programs, and the roadmap development, which will also be discussed. So in this webinar today, we will not go through all the details, but just mainly through the main achievements that were conducted by the Cash and Wash Technical Working Group. And if you want to have a more detailed look, you can also check the report in detail. So now talking about the membership and the way of working of this technical working group. So at the beginning, we had 11 members from 4 national societies, IFRC and ICRC. Around mid-2021, after a survey was sent to the national societies and different webinars were conducted, the group was extended to 22 members. And now we had 10 national societies, including IFRC and ICRC, as well, who were included in the technical working group. So as I previously said, that the members are coming from all places of the world. So a dedicated Teams, Microsoft Teams channel was hosted by IFRC, and it was used to ensure that the participants would have access anytime to all the different information needed. And also during the subgroup work, there was use of different participatory tools. The Miro board, for example, is one tool used. There was also monthly meetings, so on the first Thursday of each month. And during these meetings, there was an update provided to all members about the progress of the activities, and also because subgroups were created, so the subgroups were also sharing their updates. We can say that we had the 3 identified work streams. So the first one was around knowledge sharing and gathering. The second work stream was around guidelines and training programs on WASH and Cash. And the third one was around implementation and partnerships. Now we come to the part of the production of reference documents that were documented. So, which is a very, let's say, an important part of the outputs of the technical working group. So the first document is the term of reference of the technical working group. We had the second version done in June 2021 after taking the feedback from the cash peer working group. The second document is the one-page document that explains in short what is the technical working group. And this document, you can find it in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic. The third document, which many of you have also received, is about what does cash mean for WASH outcomes. So this document is intended for both WASH and cash practitioners, and as well as program managers who would like to understand and learn more about how cash and voucher assistance can support WASH outcomes. You can also find it in English, French, Spanish, and Arabic. So these three documents can give you a good idea of the objectives and the activities of the technical working group, and they are also available on the website, the Cash and WASH Technical Working Group website, if you want to learn more. The part of the information dissemination, so websites and reference documents that you can look at, and they are all as well available on the links that you will find in the presentation. This is to really ensure that the information is available widely to all the national societies. So we have three different websites. One website is dedicated, is created by the technical working group, and you can find all the various details about the group, such as the past meeting minutes, the list of members, the documents that we just mentioned, the different outputs of the working group. You can also find various resources such as publications, guidelines, training, upcoming events, and so on. You can also find the frequently asked questions section, and which has been very, very useful as well by many members. The second website is a dedicated Cash and WASH page on the Cash Hub portal. So it also contains the most important documents, let's say, on the Cash and WASH. And of course, we have a dedicated Cash and WASH page on the Watson Mission Assistant website, which includes key elements related to cash and WASH. We can say that all these three websites are complementary, and these websites are always a reference to all the national societies. Another channel of information dissemination is the webinars, like the one we are doing today, for example. In 2021, we have had 3 times the same webinar at different time zones and at different languages. So to present what is the technical working group and the documents that were produced. So similar to the one we are having as well today in 2022. There was also one induction webinar in July to present the details of the technical working group, and one webinar as well through the Skybird, which is a regional WASH networking and capacity development program in East Africa. Okay, moving to the coordination part. So coordination is definitely very important, not only within the movement, but also outside the movement. And this is mainly to stay up to date on the latest development on cash and voucher assistance. So when we talk about the coordination within the movement, we can mention the coordination with the cash peer working group and with the various WASH advisors on a quarterly basis, and the meetings with the regional WASH colleagues from MENA, Africa, Americas region, and so on. The external coordination includes a meeting with the Global WASH Cluster Technical Working Group, the Menstrual Hygiene Management in Emergency Technical Working Group, and also the Regional WASH and Emergency Coordination Group in Asia Pacific. Okay, moving on to the other activities as well that were conducted. We will not go into details of all the achievements because the time is quite limited, but you can always have access to the details in the full report. Here are let's say, a briefing of the activities that were conducted. So first, of course, the survey to the national societies. Second, the mapping and the 5 case studies that some of them are developed, others are still under development. The market-based programming for WASH e-course, and the roadmap development, which we will discuss in the next part. Over to you, Ludovic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jamili. So now let's move to the roadmap development and the different work streams identified with Annika. Over to you, Annika.
Thank you. We can go to the next slide. Yeah, so what I'll be doing is I'll be talking you through our ambitions for the coming years. We developed a roadmap for the period 2022-2024. And the overall goal of the roadmap is to strengthen the movement, WASH practitioners' understanding and adoption of using CVA and market-based approaches in WASH interventions. The development of the roadmap took place in a process of consultations between August 2021 and February 2022. So brand new. And you have heard the main pillars already. We kept them as such. So the first pillar, knowledge and sharing. Second pillar, guidelines and trainings. And third pillar, implementation and partnerships. With 2 key enabling actions, one being resource mobilization, and the second one, learning and adaptation. Based on this, the 3 pillars and the 2 enabling actions, we identified 9 different work streams that we will be focusing on, and I will be talking you through the 9 different work streams from now on. Each work stream has a terms of reference. We'll have a focal point for the work stream, specific members focusing on the work stream. It has a separate timing and duration very often. Meetings are planned focused on the specific topic. And I'll be talking you through the work streams now. You can also consider it as a bit of an invitation to see if you will be interested to join one of those. Let's move to the first work stream. The first work stream is about the state of the knowledge on cash and voucher assistance for WASH outcomes. It will be a thematic watch on evidence base, case studies, project documents from the movement and outside. And it will include a review of those documents, a dissemination of the documents we find really relevant, and communicating on those. And as you can see, for every work stream, you have the money icon on the upper right corner, indicating if we also are looking or are planning to budget for that. In this case, there's no budget needed to implement this work stream. It's only members' time availability that we need. Let's move on to the second one. The second one is complementary to the first work stream. It's identification of knowledge gaps. And it entails the development of new case studies and project evaluations to generate insights that we can use for further strengthening of our cash and WASH activities, including the identification of potential countries where we can focus on. Terms of reference will be developed. Consultants will likely be recruited to develop the case studies in detail. We will organize consultations for follow-up, and surely disseminate the findings that are generated. And as you can see at the top right, this workstream requires funding for the coming years. Let's move on to the next one. Communication, also related to the first 2 work streams. This work stream focuses on defining our communication strategy, advocacy strategy, define modalities in which we will share the information that we generate or find. We have several websites. Perhaps we want to focus on additional ones. And of course, we have our yearly report that will be disseminated. Let's move on to the fourth one. And this workstream focuses specifically on the webinar in line with the communication strategy. The webinar as we are having now, in which we update on the technical working group activities, also with a focus to increase and diversify our membership, and relate to and share information at specifically at regional levels. And this includes also the preparation and the identification of speakers, for example. Training workstream. This is one with quite a lot of ambitions. As you can see, a lot of activities we plan to do. First and foremost, come up with a strategy for the trainings, review the competency framework. A cash and wash training has been developed. We will analyze how it was working until now, develop it further, and come up with training pathways for different profiles. Trainers will be identified to run the training of trainers. Both we foresee through remote and face-to-face trainings. And also we will support the development of cascading trainings. And let's move on to the sixth work stream. This one focuses on guidelines, and it's complementary in that sense with the first work stream, because it entails a desk review of existing guidelines, development and dissemination of guidelines to the specific context of the movement, and review and adjustment of existing guidelines and develop new ones if needed. This might also be based on outcomes of the case studies. And then another major work stream we will be focusing on is pilot projects. This work stream focuses on the development of pilot projects, including a preparation of a how-to guide, how to go about pilot projects, where should pilot projects focus on. The identification of gaps will also be based on the case study mapping that we are doing. We will disseminate the how-to guide, develop concept notes, proposals, and partnerships. Lots to do. And of course, we will look into the implementation and documentation of pilot projects within the movement. And very importantly, workstream 8 focuses on making access to wider audience related to the outputs of the technical working group. And we have the ambition to be more exclusive and give access to all parts of the world. And that's why, for example, we are also doing automatic translation currently in Spanish, French, and Arabic for the current webinar. And this workstream will include the following activities also to coordinate the translation into the different languages, and to coordinate with the designer on the proper design of the documents following the movement's guidelines. And last but not least, workstream 9 focuses on setting up a help desk. First of all, mapping out the existing technical support resources, establishing linkages and roles and responsibilities for support, and finalization of a design of a referral system and dissemination of that. That's all in very brief regarding the 9 work streams that we will be focusing on. Should you have any detailed questions, feel free to put them in the chat box and we will keep it for the end. Then we will surely be answering them. Now let's move on to the organization of the technical working group.
Thanks a lot, Annika. So please, Andrew, the floor is yours.
Okay. The technical working group is made up of individual that is experienced and knowledge of cash and wash, virtual assistant and market-based programming, and who have interest and determined to contribute significantly to the group. So the membership also have the representative of the mix of IFRC, ICRC, and National Society that who is aiming and the group geography spreads. The membership of the National Society that implement for cash and wash will be prioritized. Each member is expected to dedicate a time to the technical working group activities within their working schedule and have meaningful contribution per month. So the technical working group will have monthly meetings and to improve and advance the technical activity. Each member is expected to join dedicated meeting and complete personal contribution and attend workstream related activity in average one day per month. The membership will be divided into two tiers, Tier A members and Tier B members. Tier A members is for the member who are motivated to take more responsibility in the technical working group, and the Tier A member will be a part of the steering group of the technical working group. Tier B member will only involve in some activity of the work stream. Yeah. Tier A membership, the Tier A member will be the member of steering group, and they can be the co-chair, coordinator, or focal point of a work stream. They only can be focal point for one work stream only, and they are motivated to become the co-chair due to the rotation of co-chair annually. Actively in workstream group, work with regular attendance to the workstream meeting, and actively in steering group, work with regular attendance to steering group meeting and support of activity plan and plan of the workstream. Okay, the membership for the Tier A will be medium to long-term commitment. And the Tier A membership need to participation to quarterly cash and wash technical group meetings. So the Tier B membership, it can be member of one or two work stream, and they no need to become the focal point to any work stream, and they actively in work stream with regular attendance to work stream meeting, and they also need to participation to quarterly cash and wash technical group meeting. The composition of the steering group will be two co-chair, like I mentioned, is rotating basis annually, and the coordinator and all focal point from 9 work stream. The member of the steering group will be rotating the co-chair, mean the Tier A membership. Yeah, co-chair and coordinator cannot be the focal point for the work stream. Only Tier A member can join the steering group. Roadmap strategy overview and follow-up and financial management. The steering group will monitoring the quarterly objective and milestone and target for the technical working group. Okay, and the steering group will be the decision maker and priority of the technical working group. The co-chair responsibility. The co-chair will be selected from the member of the steering group. The co-chair also will need to ensure the external coordination with other partnership like cash peer working group and provide the updates on the technical work group work activity, and they need to participate and in the wash advisor call. And the co-chair will need to coordination with the cash hub for the update and cash and wash pages. Ensure the technical working group is well and on track, and monitoring if the new structure is doing well, can receive the feedback from every of the member. The coordinator responsibility. The coordinator will need to will need to have the roadmap developed and intention to increase the size of technical working group, and we are advocating to have a coordination position. The responsible of the position will be the internal coordination for the steering group, interaction with different work streams, administration roles like meeting invitation, reporting, and sending the email to all the members, and so on. Ensure all the focal point provide the updates on their designation online form. So always keeping the info is updated to every member in the technical working group. And the coordinator will need to chair the quarterly meetings. Organization to the work stream. Okay, the 9 work streams that have been presented earlier by my colleagues will have the same organizations. The composition of the work stream, there will be a one focal point and several members from Tier B. Okay, for the work stream, they have a medium-term commitment for the focal person, and the focal person cannot be the member of another work stream, but the member can be the member of 2 work stream maximum. So they can choose 1 or 2 work stream that they are interested and they are willing to contribute to. The focal point is managing the frequency and timing of the internal meeting for the dedicated work stream. Precise the objective, deliverable agreed by the steering group, link with timeline. The focal person report during the steering group meeting and their workstream activity on monthly basis. Why should you join the technical working group? What is the benefit that you can get and bring back to your national society? Cash is a core commitment from IFRC and widely used in human sector. Before this, during the disaster, we are using in Kai, but now, since this few years, our humanitarian aids given will be including the cash, like the cash for livelihood and the cash for works and cash for shelter, and cash is applied in most of the place. And the technical working group can support your national society to engage more through the advocacy and development and sharing of good practice and the lesson learned and case study. You can refer other NS case and develop your own capacity for your national society. And you also can access to the materials which like in our Cash and Wash websites, and guidelines or the latest info on the Cash and Wash. Yeah, so you also can attend the trainings like my colleague just mentioned now, the marketing development, yeah, pilots of study. Yeah, if you have any question, may keep asking us lah, the technical working group member. Yeah, I hope this presentation was positive and raised all the participants today interest to join the technical working group. Before you join, please ensure that you have discussed your participation to the technical working group with your WASH or Cash technical advisor of your national society. You can talk to your WASH and Cash technical focal person from your national society. Okay, you can apply the technical working group membership through the website, and the link will be provided in the follow-up emails. So now is the polling time. Yeah.
Okay, so for the poll time, you will have 2 questions following this presentation. So the first question Are you interested to be part of this technical working group? Yes, no, I don't know. And the second question is, in this case, which tier do you want to join? Tier A or tier B? So I will open the poll now. I will let you 1 minute to answer. So the poll is popping up on your screen. So please answer to the 2 questions. Okay, let's have 5 people more. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Okay, just let me share the results briefly. So for the first, we have 20% who answered, and we have 70% that are interested to join the technical working group. So thanks a lot, and you are more than welcome. Few people that are not interested or cannot join, and few people who don't know. And we have a majority of the answer that they are interested by, well, majority, yeah, 60% interested by tier B. So thanks. Let's now move to the question. So I don't think I see question in the chat box, but feel free to just open your microphone and ask the question. Or if you want, you can write it on the chat box.
Ludovic,
yes. Please, Biplop, go ahead.
I didn't understand the tier A and tier B because I was in washroom that time. Sorry for that. So can you just re-articulate about the tier A and tier B? What is the responsibilities of tier A? Or
okay, so let's move it here. So tier A members is a member that is more interested to take responsibilities in the organization and the management of the technical working group. Then the tier A member can be a co-chair, coordinator, or focal point of a work stream. So what does it mean? It means it's quite more responsibilities in terms of accountability, in terms of also external coordination, in terms of reporting. And if you want to be tier B member, it means you are maybe less interested by taking a role in these responsibilities, but you are interested to learn or to support the development of one work stream. So Annika presented the 9 different work streams. So maybe you are interested to the training work stream because you believe that can be interested for the National Society of your country. So you can get involved there because then after you can support directly your National Society. So it's the same for the other work stream. It's linked to the interest, but then it's like you are provided some time from your working hours in agreement with your line manager. And this time is dedicated to do some activities that are defined by the steering group and by the focal point of the work stream. Did I answer the question?
yes, thank you, Ludovic. Thanks a lot.
Welcome, Biplop. Any other question? Kanika, I think you raised your hand, so please go ahead.
Thanks, Ludovic, and thank you all for the presentation. I'm actually just curious, and I apologize to Annika if she covered this in the work streams, but I'm a little curious as to maybe how environmental considerations will be considered within the work of within the Cash and Wash technical working group. It's just, I think we have a natural deference to think that it is a more environmental solution. I know we try to advocate a lot in the Swedish Red Cross, but there are, of course, considerations when we think about supply chains and what people are consuming and where things are coming from. So just a little curious in terms of how that might be considered. Thanks.
Thank you, Kanika. That's a very good question. To be honest, we didn't consider yet, but for me, it's kind of a transversal transversal issue. So it's something that we need to include in all our program. But I think if you are available, that can be good if you want to join, and then support us on the inclusion of this topic in a let's say wider place. Yeah.
Super. Okay, thanks, Ludovic. I'll definitely look into that. Thanks so much.
But also, we are looking also for literature. We are looking also. So I know in parallel we have, at regional level, at global level, we have also many contacts with the colleagues from the Green Response. So it's something we know that partly doing cash modalities for wash intervention can go in that direction. But I think what we can do in the future is to develop case studies, to develop more evidence-based, because there might be some calculation that prove that, but maybe other that will go on the reverse direction. So that's something we can include, and that can be developed also. Like we mentioned, we are developing case study. We want to develop evidence-based. So if you have access to some document that are relevant to us, please share it as well, because we are building our knowledge. So it's something we are interested in as well.
Super. We'll definitely keep my eyes open. And I think you're right. I think the need to build the evidence base is very much there. I don't think anybody has good, clear evidence yet. So great to hear that it could be something on your radar.
Yeah. Any other question or comment? And also, maybe we didn't mention, we want really to develop, the activities, they are developed for different target groups. So for example, it's of course for National Society, but it's also for the ERU members. So I know British Red Cross is involved in that. So meaning it's, it's linked to your point. It's like the way we can target people and also link to the activity we are doing at different level, at different size. So it's what is interesting in this is this technical working group is there is potential impact at very different level, and we are bridging members from National Society, from IFRC regional level, from global level, from advisor, from PNS, from global level as well. So that's very interesting initiative, and because I think we can really answer at different level. Okay, so if no more question, what we are reaching the end of the webinar. So the recording of this webinar will not be shared with you. It will be uploaded on the Technical Working Group website, so you will have access to it. The people interested to join the Technical Working Group can apply in the Technical Working Group website. So the link was shared earlier by Alexander. So there is a form. If you are interested and you put your name, then you will receive an invitation for the next month's meeting of the Technical Working Group. It will happen on 7th of April, after morning European time. And during this meeting, we plan to have a big discussion with new members, all members, about we want to put in place this new organization where people will decide if they want to become Tier A or Tier B, and if they are interested to be part of a work stream, or if they are interested to lead a work stream. You see, the list is quite long. We have 9 work streams. We have work stream that will start immediately. We have work stream that we can delay a bit, but we really need to have engagement of more people in the Technical Working Group. So you are all welcome, and if you apply, then you will receive the invitation for the meeting on the 7th April. That's all. I want to really thank the three facilitators today, Annika, Jamili, and Andrew. I want to thank also the two translators because it's not an easy job. And if no more questions, I will close the meeting, and thanks for your participation. Have a great end of the day, end of the week, and talk to you soon on the 7th of April.